We should be live.
Good. Hey everyone. Welcome to Rules of Fun. We're playing Pathfinder, supported by the amazing Spheres of Power and Spheres of Might system.
All praise the spheres.
Which makes that the system it rewards creativity. It makes the system a lot more varied, and at the same time also it very much improves the balance between martial and magical characters, or the viability of a martial magical character, and that's great because yes, it's great because we have 3 of those. Because we haven't been streaming for I think 3 weeks by now. We missed 2. Doesn't really matter. We've been gone for a while, so it might very well be that there are people here now or watching this later who have not seen the previous episodes. So I thought I'd do a bit longer recap than usual. Our players are part of a group, a guild called the Strikers Guild, which is an organization of monster hunters that aim to take the battle to the monsters instead of waiting until the monsters gather enough strength and can overrun the location where the guild is located, the outpost city called Dreidan. Now, Dreidan is an important city because it is the only thing that stands between these wild lands where there are several orders of monsters and other strange creatures. And Dreidan is the only thing preventing them from storming into the Kingdom of Iritis, of which Dreidan is officially a part, but it kind of has its own culture.
It's complicated.
It's complicated, yes, exactly. What happened so far is one of the more important things is that the Lord of Dreidan has died.
Again.
And then turned into a vampire and killed a second time for good measure. This meant that Dreidan was without a lord. So from Iritis came news that there would be a new lord coming to Dreidan, or actually a selection of 10 lords, one of which will be the new lord of Dreidan. These people have to be escorted to the city to ensure a safe arrival, and our party of misfit strikers have been sent along on this journey to protect the nobles that are being escorted, but also they've also gained an additional secret mission to keep an eye out at these nobles and to inform the leader of the Strikers Guild what these people are all about. The journey to Iritis has taken quite a while and will take a bit longer, but in between they've gained yet another mission to go and kill the vampire who is located in a nearby castle called Castle Norgrim. And where we last left off, the group was stopped by a strange creature named an Ejerak, or however it is actually pronounced, who is a kind of strange creature, but not malicious, who offered to ensure the party protection while traveling through the Ejerak's realm, as well as protection from the Vampire Lord's powers, if they can make a sacrifice that they consider worthy. And that is where we start. But first...
Sacrifice or offering?
An offering, yes, I'm sorry.
Exactly the same.
Yeah. An offering you consider worthy. But before we actually jump in, let's also introduce the players and their characters. So why don't you tell me who you are, who you're playing, and I always ask a weird and stupid question.
Just to throw us off guard.
Exactly, to gather information and to determine weaknesses.
Oh, what's your biggest fear? What's your...
I don't know if I have actually asked for your biggest fear. Just
You haven't.
yeah.
Did I? No. Did I not?
You're a jerk, Robert.
No,
Cheers.
but I already have one for today. I have asked about which of the 7 deadly sins connect to your character most. But there are also the 4 cardinal virtues. The virtues of prudence, which does not mean being a prude. It means the ability to discern the appropriate course of action to be taken in a given situation at an appropriate time.
Definitely not that one.
Justice, fortitude, or temperance. The answer may also be none of them, but please try to pick the one that even distantly is the most appropriate.
Hi.
Ooh.
Hi, I'm Mabel. I am playing Alice, or Alice for full name. Sylph, who has basically wanted to be a striker her whole life, and finally managed it, and then got benched for 12 years, until these 2 buggers came along and finally was led into the field again. I am the resident stabby bookworm of the group. Most of what I do is teleporting other people around the place and know stuff. I'm playing an investigator class, which of spheres, which has been translated to sphere system, which means I have so many skills. That is what I do. I do skill checks. I do skill checks and occasionally alchemy. And Alice is not particularly patient. She is not particularly fortuitous. Justice she could care less about. So I think that she is actually most connected to prudence.
Ooh.
Why? Because she is a very, very, very rational person. She knows the right course of action. Doesn't mean she takes it, but she knows it.
And you are the least wisest of the group, I think. So.
Oh, absolutely. I
Interesting.
am the most intelligent of the group, but I'm definitely the least wise.
Yeah.
I know the right course of action and don't take it.
I think I'm the most wise. I think, right? I think I had wisdom score.
Yeah.
Yes, like
Also,
well,
you're also the oldest, so
technically.
Technically. Well, I'm Robert, and I'm playing Orgelmir, a giant gladiator who's actually been with Strikers for a longer time, but mostly, like I said, like a guest character, I guess, in some parties. But now he found his own party and is now traveling with them, beside his part-time job as a gladiator. And I'm gonna say fortitude. Just he can tank a hit, and I thought about justice and temperance because I guess justice also, but I think fortitude is just most bullseye, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Also, fortitude of mind. You are a stubborn bastard.
yeah, it's
Yes.
about I'm H.E. Mills, fancy author. Publishing my 2nd book very soon.
Right
next
there's
to this
only
one.
one there. That's the second one.
The paperback won't be there next week yet. That's going to take a little longer.
I still
ebook is
keep
coming
thinking that you tell us that you're a fancy author.
Fancy.
I am a very, very fancy
Very
author.
fancy.
Definitely. No, and I play Nyx. Nyx is a shapeshifter, the youngest of the bunch here. And for Nyx, I'm also going to say fortitude. I was also looking at the description of the virtues, and fortitude in the description is really about the ability to confront fear as well. So it's more like courage and stuff.
Yeah.
And justice is more about righteousness, and Nyx definitely has a touch of that, but he's really more about fortitude.
Do you have a problem with temperance? Because
Temperance is about like things like
moderation and such.
self-control, abstention, discretion, moderation. Yeah.
So dude
And-
takes all the fish and all the food sometimes.
Nom, 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 nom.
Yeah, no, Nyx is definitely not about temperance. No.
Kitten of footy.
Yeah.
I am very glad that you did not just cop out with the easy one and said justice, because to me that feels like the one that is so easy to just say like, oh yeah, my character as justice.
We want justice in the world, kind of.
Fuck no.
I don't. It doesn't really fit with any of our characters.
Yeah.
To be exactly
second
that.
place for
None
me,
of us
I
are
guess.
paladins or something.
We're a bunch of misfits who like a little bit of danger and a little bit of battle, and
We do want.
I mean, misfits are usually the ones who care most about justice, but
nah.
They've been on the wrong end of it. Yeah, definitely.
Sure.
and it kind
But
of
it's
goes
more
in two
about-
ways of like, where is the line between justice and revenge?
Mm.
But luckily, we don't have to care about that because
Yet.
no one said justice.
And also, we're not doing philosophy, we're doing Pathfinder.
I mean,
Rules as fun.
what is
aren't you
Pathfinder
really-
but philosophy with
Yeah.
dice and maths?
Isn't anything
from
really philosophy at its core? Okay.
Cool. Last we left off, you were just done talking to the Isharak. I'm going to struggle with that word every time I say it. And you just left, and I had to cut off the conversation because we were running over time.
We wanted to continue, and now we can.
All right.
Right. I don't think we should inform the general.
Definitely not.
Are we talking with the Idrak right in front of us right now?
think
Can
we
I
walked a bit
assume
back.
that you walked a bit away.
We walked a bit away.
To also paint a scene, this is taking place basically on a snow-covered road that runs. It's kind of an open pathway between two large masses of evergreen forest.
Right, so we
It's
step back.
bloody cold.
At least it's just sort of pacing. Also, partially to stay warm, partially because she's thinking.
Orgomir is standing still and just
Yeah.
thinking.
Nyx is standing
any
still,
ideas?
but his tail is swishing.
Do you guys have any ideas?
Well, we have two options: either to give something or not give something.
I think. we
And
should
if
probably-
we give him something that's we deem worthy, and I sure as hell hope that one of you has something worthy.
should it be something that? Are we supposed to each give something that's
I think we decided one
personally
item
think is
for our
worthy,
party,
or one
right?
thing for all of us?
I have an idea. I don't. Obviously, I don't want to.
That's the idea of giving something that's.
I know that is
Not
why, but it
necessarily.
meets every criteria I think of a good offering. It is personally important to me, but it will also impact the both of you. But as I said, like if you have any other option, I would like to hear that.
The thing is, what's most valuable, what I deem most valuable on me right now, is what we need to kill that vampire.
I mean, it doesn't. Oh, that doesn't seem like a good idea. That doesn't seem like a good idea at all.
We really shouldn't hand in weapons. That is
But-
a death sentence. That is offering a death sentence, and
Also,
that
I'm
doesn't
hoping-
seem.
We don't
It
have
doesn't
to
seem
give
like
an
a worthy
offering right now, right? I mean, we can go look for an offering or something. Because honestly,
If we
I
go,
had to give an offering that I would consider worthy, it would be, well, I think, food. Really, you can't live without food.
yeah, but it doesn't feel like that kind of question.
You think it's kind of like a trick question? like judging your character based on what you give?
Chris, can I get some sort of philosophy knowledge about this?
A wisdom check, I
Or
guess?
synth motive? Or
Philosophy.
Oh yeah, I think the synth motive would be the most suitable.
alright,
Sure.
that is fine. I'm
I'm gonna tell you, you're not gonna get a full answer.
I know.
That's fair.
That's a really good roll. I am going to be sure. I'm going through inspiration like mad. But I'm adding one. That was pretty useless. Alright, that is
That's
a
what inspiration
24.
is for. 24. That's pretty good.
Synth motive, yeah.
It's a natural 17, so
Yeah, that's really good.
You rolled a 1 on your inspiration dice, didn't you?
Yeah.
Thought so. The very first thing is notable that he said something that an offering that you consider worthy. He didn't say the most worthy. Or it. It didn't say the most worthy. It's not expecting you to sacrifice like the thing that is most important to you. There is some leeway.
When it said you, was it kind of like the
Yes.
singular you or the
And
plural you?
you also figured that with you, it is expecting only a single offering, and you mostly get this from the fact that it offered to protect you and the entire caravan, who wasn't there at the moment. So it would be weird if it would be like an offering from every single person of the caravan.
alright. But that still doesn't answer the question if food would suffice, because we can arrange that. That would be similar to an offering to a minor deity.
I'm also going to say that the way it was saying these things and the way it was kind of like just talking in general during the conversation, it quite clearly didn't have something specific in mind. You didn't feel like it knew the right offering that you should give, and you should figure out which offering that was. It felt more like, it asking you for an offering.
Alright, I'll relay these deductions.
Alright.
I mean, food would technically qualify for that.
My doubts about that.
Same. But
That's because you've never been hungry. Anyway.
definitely.
What were you saying about giving something that would inconvenience the both of us?
All of us. Me more than...
You're talking about one of your alchemical...
Alchemy is something I can remake. Catalysts are not worth anything to anyone who has just as much access to the elementals as I do, and not the interest. So definitely not that. Neither creations of alchemy, because mine are relatively fleeting. Potions seem pretty worthless to give. I was talking about this, and I'll hold up the journal that you'll have seen me write in every single day, everywhere we go. I got this one right before we left. So it's detailing
Everything, basically.
everything from the moment that we left Dreidan in invisible ink. It holds not just details on the creatures that we've encountered, but also on the both of you and everyone traveling with us. It's written in invisible ink. But this is knowledge. This is my strength.
It's definitely worthy.
How long were you taking notes in that?
This is a new one that I got for this journey specifically.
Are there secrets in there that are nobody's?
I have not written anything about our special assignment.
All right. In that case, it's a risk, but
it's a big risk.
And I really don't want to. This booklet, I am not as good with magic as you guys. I am not as good with sword as you guys. This is my strength. I have a different book for alchemy, but...
Could you make a copy? But how long would that take?
That would... I just start skimming through it and you very quickly realize she's almost halfway through it. She writes a lot.
I mean, I have two short swords now. So, but that means the other one is not worthy.
You really shouldn't sacrifice your blades.
Yeah, no, that seems like a bad idea.
I have a ring.
It's
a ring?
It's a ring of protection. Which is pretty valuable because I need to protect you guys. And without it, that's going to be a little more tricky.
I think, out of character, I'm pretty sure we replaced those with an with a
I'm afraid we did
from the codex. So
fuck.
Yeah, I'm afraid we did.
That's a placebo.
A placebo. It's just a ring.
Just a ring.
And if you
it's
like
pretty,
it,
but
if you like it, you should have put a ring on it.
Yeah.
You put a ring on it yourself.
Anyway.
I love myself.
All right, that's good.
God.
Love yourself in private, please. Let's continue.
No. Right, please.
I'm not going there.
Thank you.
Sorry.
But as I said, this is a lot.
Yeah.
I know. I am not sure if this is what they're asking for. And I don't want to put it up unless it's a last resort, because it's a better choice than any of us giving up our weapons, or any of you giving up something that gives you your powers, or anything that is really personal. This has a lot of meaning to me. A lot. But I also have personal effects that I would never part with. One of them is on the caravan. This is the step before that. So to prevent any of us from actually offering up personal items, I know that this is a right step. It is the logical choice to be sure that it's enough. But as I said, if it would be enough, if we were sure of that, then I say we go hunt and we gather a feast. We have a cook make it up and give it to them. Show we are willing, show our appreciation of this offer that we were given, because what the Ijirak is offering us is amazing. Protection for the caravan is so important.
If it's true.
It seems legit. Yeah, I'm in favor. We could go hunt and everything, but I do think it would set the caravan back. It would cost too much time, maybe.
Maybe he'd appreciate company and a hot meal. We consider that very valuable.
Sure we could ask it if it eats. Again, I do consider food a worthy offering.
Food and company.
But your book is definitely also an impressive offering.
So, plan A and plan B then? Because I don't have anything else. Well, plan You could just not give anything.
It's an option.
I don't think that's an option. If you want to keep the caravan safe,
Still an option.
if you want to keep the caravan safe with what's coming ahead,
I'm just saying, what if
but the fact that we got this offer, I think it's important that we take it.
what if this is just a treacherous creature, manipulation, who just tries to get gifts without offering anything back?
I made a check before, I think.
Yeah, I'm quite sure.
Yeah,
Organized
and I'm pretty sure. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure I told you these are not malicious creatures.
Yeah,
They
they're
are-
both not. They're both not malicious creatures necessarily.
They're also not good.
They're also they're not evil. They're not good. They're kind of just on their own. Like
Very neutral.
many natural creatures are just not necessarily like self-interested, but they care about their specific things.
Yeah.
You also know that Isharak are quite powerful creatures.
And
I
then
think I did
we
make a
also knew
roll
that you
for
were-
that, and I rolled like a natural one.
Then we
I
have
recall
two
correctly.
options: either food and company, or I hate to admit it, journal.
Yeah.
Or the swords, but that means we can't do our
No.
Swords
no
are not
swords.
an option.
Definitely not a swords.
and we can't do our assignment. Then we don't even need to cross the territory.
Exactly.
All right.
You could go around and extend the journey by another month.
Let's not do that.
That is not an option.
We also have
So
to
how
go
far
back.
How far back is the caravan by now? Because usually we stay like within an hour, but I can imagine like on a very quiet day that we venture out a bit further.
Yeah, I would say that about an hour sounds good.
So what are we gonna do?
How about we first ask it about its diet? What kind of things it eats? If it eats at all, I don't know. Do we have knowledge about what an Iterak eats, or is that too esoterical?
Um,
Do you want another knowledge check for this?
no, I because you already made a knowledge check on the Isharak.
Yeah.
You're not like entirely sure, but if it is like a creature of nature, if it's like a nature spirit kind of creature, then it does eat. Whether or not they need to eat is always kind of the question, but
Fair enough.
they do eat as like a part of nature.
Mm.
They're often omnivorous, and it's not necessarily like nature spirits protect their environment, but they're not against hunting or anything. Like even if a nature spirit can take the form of an elk, if you then shoot an elk and offer it as food, like it won't be angry at you that you just shot an elk.
Fair enough. I would skip that part and just offer the offering, and if he doesn't take it, then we go to plan B.
All right, so we're hunting game and seeing if we can gather something.
I would skip that part also, just saying the company and whatever the cook makes.
Fair.
Offer the Isharak a meal at the caravan.
Exactly.
What time does the caravan stop?
In quite a while still.
All right. Yeah, so that would mean we woke up
A meal every
Isharak.
time we stop in his territory.
Yeah. So that means we now walk up to the Isharak.
Yeah.
Propose that we'll be proposed location we'll be stopping at.
For your 24, Alice, on the sense motive, I will also give you that the Isharak was quite direct at you as a group.
It's our offering, not that of the caravan.
Exactly.
Then we have no plan B.
Then I would go with the journal.
Sorry, Elise.
I don't like putting you guys at risk. I don't like... It is logical. It is perfectly logical to part with this over anything else. Right. And I'll turn and start walking in the direction of the Ijirag. Very
Alright.
eager to get this at least over with.
I'll keep a distance.
The Isharak does not seem to be standing where it was before.
Look around and see if there's any sign of it.
Not at the moment.
Can you give us a name?
Yes, he did, but I forgot for a moment.
Yeah,
Did.
me too.
And I did not take notes of last session.
Right.
Seems racist to just call out Idrek. I'm not sure.
Suluk.
So look.
Zuluk.
Just look over my shoulder and see what you guys are.
Zuluk over your shoulder? Okay. Yeah.
Ori is still standing in the same spot, just keeping an eye out.
Nix followed you.
So look, we may have found an offering.
You see some of the snow kind of whirl up, and for a moment obscure your vision. And once again, when it vanishes, there is this strange creature with long claws and a skull as either its head or a mask. A deer skull. Or a caribou skull, I think it was. Kind of leaning on with two hands on a quite sizable cane.
I am weak. I don't have great strength or great magics. But I am a fighter. I protect my friends, and I do that by means of this. I have knowledge. Knowledge that I use to protect, that I use to improve, that I use to help. For the last couple of weeks, I have been gathering my knowledge of my friends, of my enemies, of all that in between in this journal. I am offering you, for all of us, my strength, in return for your strength to protect us and those who follow us.
The one of the hands of this creature reach out and take the book and slowly pulls it towards it. Your offering is remarkable. It's very worthy indeed. In my domain, you shall be under my protection. Do keep in mind that my domain does not extend to the castle. Here you are safe. Here your caravan is safe. And it puts the book away in its strange, seemingly endless robes.
Yeah, just so you know, it's not empty. The ink is invisible. So just so you don't think that we were like trying to hornswoggle you.
It knows Nix.
You should, okay. Just checking.
I thank you for your considerate words. But I did indeed already know.
Thank you for offering your protection.
It is simply my part of the bargain.
We should return. Turn to Nix. Let's go.
Yeah.
Basically, as soon as you turn around, you can see her sort of pull a dagger and start fiddling with it.
You okay?
I'm fine. I am perfectly fine. This is perfectly all right.
All right. Don't
Walk back to Ori.
Yeah, or is I still on the Ijirak? Ijirak? Sorry.
interact.
Yeah.
Something.
The moment it notices, it's just going to stare at you.
With its
And-
skull.
I don't think he needs sense motive to know Ori's angry.
The offering was acceptable, and the deal has been struck.
Figured.
Yeah.
We should return to the caravan and report that. I don't know. Maybe we shouldn't report at all. I am not sure.
I know we should definitely report on the presence of this creature and the fact that we have struck a deal. We don't have to tell them what we gave it.
Oh, that is sure. Yes.
Presence of
Yes.
an Ijirak. Still staring at it.
This is
General should
definitely
know.
something the Strikers Guild needs to know about, and also the general, because we'll be traveling through this creature's territory.
You don't want to continue traveling? Just go to the castle immediately?
That is not the deal struck. We're on scout duty today. We have a duty to fulfill. We should fulfill it.
Oh, sorry, I thought we were already...
No, this is
Sorry,
scout day.
in that
No,
case-
it will still scout duty.
Sorry.
I think
Tomorrow.
we're getting exempt on our guard day. Or like
Yeah.
that we-
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
In that case,
Scouting is a bit more important than guard because they do have spare guard. The caravan has spare guard. The caravan does not have spare scouts.
In that case, let's report.
Yes.
Is the Ijirak still there?
The spare scouts, that's just
Yeah.
Team 38, right? I mean, yeah. Sorry.
I think Ori
Yeah,
has to, while he's talking, he's still been staring at him.
Let's go.
you walking backwards?
Oh, Ori had never left. He just stood there.
Oh, fair enough.
Let's go.
Alright.
Shoving
Yes.
Ori along.
Come on, Ori. You mean Orgomir?
Last look.
Ori, the moment that you kind of are shoved away and you have this short moment that you lose focus and lose eye contact, and when you look again, the Ijirak is gone.
You blinked.
I look at Nix and just give him a wink.
Give him a blink.
Nix doesn't disappear when you blink. That's not how it
You're
works.
trying to make me disappear. That's mean.
It's not working. Damn. Thought I had superpowers.
Keep your eyes closed, then I'll be gone. Alright.
So you return to the caravan.
Yes.
You notice on your way back that the cold is a lot less than it was.
Well,
It's
the
become less
cold never-
noticeable. And the view, it's not quite view, it's not quite sight, I don't know the correct word for it. You can see quite far.
Visibility is clear.
Yeah, the visibility
Yeah.
is remarkably well.
I guess this is part of his protection.
Good offering.
Look at least its protection, his protection, their protection.
I've been going by its. It's a spirit.
Works for me.
Suluk's protection.
So it's protection. Let's report to the general.
I hope he's making good use of it. They're making good use of it.
Wouldn't you rather hope it doesn't make use of it at all?
There's good information in there. I have, all my notes on the monster of Cold Marsh, the gremlin
you mean-
creatures.
Good use in the sense that he uses it for good. That's
Maybe he will
different
kill
than
the monster of the
making
marsh.
good
That would
use
be
of
good.
it. Yeah.
Maybe
Eh,
they'll recruit.
Monster of the Marsh.
Maybe she'll go recruit the monster of Cold Marsh.
If he
Monster of
kills the
Cold Marsh
monster of the
wasn't
marsh,
that
I will
bad.
give him a bottle
Yeah.
of whiskey on me.
I mean, the monster of the Cold Marsh was really annoying, but ultimately,
I
it wasn't
want that
bad.
thing dead.
You might not want to
It
say
was
that
just an
out loud.
80-foot deep pit. It was just an 80-foot pit. What's so bad about that? You were fine.
Are you? Who is equipped at falling? That other than me, like I've got 6 different methods of negating fall damage, but
I could turn into an air elemental.
all right. So literally,
I just have a fuck ton of hit points.
yeah. So you're literally the worst equipped at falling.
Also, the only one in heavy armor. So yeah.
I guess I could try and jam my trident in the side and try to hang on.
Mhm.
Maybe
Or swords, just...
great for your swords. Anyway,
Good for my legs.
that's true.
I think this is actually what we're talking about on the way back.
I think it probably is.
Probably.
Yeah, absolutely. You do make it back to the caravan that is slowly traveling forward. Yeah, you're back there.
And report to
Right.
General. General,
Ah, good to see you back.
as you might have
Yes.
noticed, the weather's been improving a bit.
Yes, excellent.
Well, we're
You're
under the
welcome.
protection of a creature. We're in his domain right now.
Do you know what kind of creature?
An
Look at
Ijirak
those.
by the name of Suluk.
An Ishirak out here.
Yes.
That is something that should be noted. He has a map that is on his table. That is basically always there. And to kind of your surprise, he just takes out a pen and just marks it down on the actual map.
We know it doesn't extend to the castle, but the way it talked, probably pretty damn close to it.
Or maybe the castle being an exemption within the domain.
It asks for a worthy offering, which we provided. And in return, we are granted its protection. I'm pretty sure it will still be giving us its protection on the way back.
All right.
The alternative, fighting it, seemed
Or going around
the worst option.
seemed like a bad idea.
Yes. Well. Okay, so for an Ishirak, I can fully understand.
The lesser evil.
Not necessarily evil.
Rational choice
That.
was the rational decision.
One does not exclude the other.
Lesser
Anyway,
evils are
Even though
usually-
we're under his protection, let's
Right.
still scout ahead.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, sounds like you've got a few things that should be talked about within your group. Good luck on the scouting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll give Nix a quick pat on the back for using a correct salute.
Alice is lost in thought and has already turned and walked away.
yeah, fair enough.
He won't stand on ceremony.
Do you want to do something specific in the rest of the scouting day?
We're probably not going to encounter much in this creature's territory, are we?
We'll get there when we get there.
Yeah, I want to specifically look either for the Ishirak itself or signs that it interfered in slaying a creature or doing something else, influencing something or someone.
That sounds like a perception check.
was afraid of that. No, that's good. Let's say 23.
Perception is wisdom, right?
All right.
Your strong suit.
My weapons are my strong suit. My plate.
Your armor is your
my
strong
full plate is
suit.
my strong suit.
My God, we have not been playing for far too long.
Yes, I've noticed.
23.
Forget all the other consequences of not playing for too long. This one is the absolute worst.
Get all the bad jokes out in one session.
Jeez. All right.
There will always be more.
You notice a few things, and you're not quite sure whether it's your mind playing tricks on you, but you swear that there are a couple of animals, mostly elks or similar creatures, that are kind of just standing at the side of the path every now and again, and are just looking at you.
Mm-hmm.
They do all seem to be different elks. It's not the same one that's following you. You do not really encounter any monsters. But you do encounter something that you have seen before quite recently, which is the body of a direwolf.
Interesting.
We came across
Is
those
the
before.
corpse? I want to check out the corpse. How it died.
Yeah.
Check specifically for claw signs, anything.
What kind of check was this again?
Yeah, make
Survival?
me.
Heal check, right?
Oh, was it
Yeah,
not?
like I would say heal or investigation.
Yeah, and if it
More
okay,
than
I'm gonna go with
perception.
investigation. It's a dirty 20.
All right. Yeah.
I think I rolled a nat 1 on this last time as well, actually. Anyway.
It seems to be mostly claw marks on it. It also seems to be something. Now that you take a close look at it, it seems quite precise and very deliberate, almost surgical. This was not a wild creature. This was a creature with intelligence that had claws and knew how to use them effectively. Kind of like you.
Was it once again a werewolf with like red eyes and way too big fangs?
Direwolf, right? Not werewolf.
No, right. Sorry, direwolf.
Yeah.
But I thought the last ones had like these vampiric kind of attributes.
Yeah.
If I recall correctly.
This one seems as well.
Yeah. Okay, so
And last time it was.
Last time it was probably the monster of the cold marsh.
Wasn't
Playing
it the scouting team that killed them?
No, it was the monster of the cold marsh. There were no tracks around the corpses.
Right. Right.
And this time it seems to be the work of the Ichirek.
Great that we don't have to deal with them.
Yeah. We will have to.
Totally worth it.
Probably.
Absolutely worth it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just give Alice a quick squeeze on the shoulder and then keep walking.
I'm fine. I'm perfectly fine. There's nothing.
Put my thumb up while I'm walking away.
Can I inspect this direwolf kind of like in the sense of like if I have to fight it in the future, check out what it might be weak against?
Ooh. Oh, jeez.
It almost sounds like an ability. Something.
That almost sounds like an ability that I have. But at least it's distracted.
I will remind you if I can't figure it out.
I will ask for a knowledge monster check.
I have that.
Because this gets closest to like going through the monsters that you already know and kind of comparing it to them.
Yeah. Ooh, I rolled well. It's a 23.
All right.
Yes, that is a good roll. Shut up.
I know that those are really good rolls. I'm so proud of the both of you.
Direwolves themselves, do not have any kind of intrinsic weaknesses.
Mm-hmm.
They're generally just wolves, but bigger. However, with like its vampiric features, you're quite sure that silver would be quite effective, or at least silver. Not fighting it with silver would be detrimental.
Yeah.
If you can, I don't know if you would do this, but you can actually kind of try to like scratch it, and you notice a clear resistance in its height that that basically means like this is tough. Like
I think this is definitely how Nix would go about testing
Yeah.
it. Like, let's see what fire does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My claw too.
How hard can I punch it? Yeah.
So punching and scratching seems to be less effective than usual. Fire still seems to burn just fine.
All right. Pretty sure these things have some kind of supernatural resistance. Probably silver would work. Didn't you have a silvered weapon? Give it a stab.
Silver dagger or like?
Oh wait, I do have a silver dagger. I am gonna test my silver dagger actually. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Silver seems to go through its heights a lot faster and better.
It's good to know. This might actually come in handy.
Want another one?
I have your other one.
Do you want another one?
I'm not really well versed in. Actually, I mean, just not used to fighting with daggers in general. I'll think about it. Thanks for the offer.
Well, for now she has it. Until I need to like pick my teeth again.
I can't actually use my dual blade against creatures that are resistant to silver, so I could. Daggers are a bit unwieldier.
How are you with like 2-weapon fighting?
Not great. Like weapons that are not made for it. I have worked very, very hard to be good at the few weapons that I can deal with.
Mm-hmm.
My dual blade, I'm really good with that, and well, to a degree. Throwing axes are fine. My rapier. I've got a couple weapons that I'm really good with, but anything like different that you throw at me, I'm less unwieldy, and I don't actually just putting any two weapons at the same time. It's a bit tougher.
I can give you some pointers later.
Yeah. I need to. Yeah, definitely. That is no problem. That would help a lot.
But first, let's just scout ahead, kill a vampire.
Yes.
Yeah,
Save
but you
the
also
world,
have the silver
stuff like that.
rapier, right?
I have a silver rapier. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I may have to consider using the daggers then. It's like, I can fight with daggers. I'm just more comfortable with my claws.
Fair enough. Shall I continue?
But, yeah.
Right.
Let's continue.
All right.
Or keep walking.
The rest of the scouting day has very little special things. You see a few more elks.
Mm-hmm.
You also come across a kind of a sudden hill that might be a good spot for an ambush. You notice that there is a coyote on top, or a pair of them. But alive, yes. As you pass, they seem to look up and kind of look at you, and then kind of just basically sit down again, or lie down. They do not seem to be hostile.
Totally worth it. Totally worth it. Absolutely so worth it. This is so necessary. Absolutely, yes.
Are you convinced yet?
Absolutely. This is logically the right decision, as evidence presents.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I agree.
you get to the resting place of the caravan. It's clear. The ground is finally like once again good solid ground instead of the marsh that you've traveled through. No chance of sinking away in the mud here.
No annoying marsh monsters.
No. It's the trees around it provide good cover to the wind. Although they might also provide good spots for ambushes or in general attacks. But that's what guards are for. Yeah. The caravan arrives there. If you scout on ahead a bit further, you don't really notice anything special. It seems all the same environment.
Right. I think we'll make sure that we're back in the spot by the time the caravan gets there.
Yeah. Oh, you do actually notice a little bit further ahead that to your left there is a smaller passage on the side of the road.
Is there a waypost next to it?
Not really a waypost, but someone or kind of a waypost. It's a bit of a makeshift waypost where someone basically just took a plank, wrote a word on it, and hammered it on a tree.
Fuck off. So, no.
That's
No.
a waypost in my book. Oh,
No,
no, I have no book anymore.
the plank says Wildstone.
Okay.
It's the village close to the castle, right?
It is indeed.
Ah.
Okay.
And this is like a 20-minute walk from where the caravan will stop.
Then we
All right.
go out tomorrow.
Evening falls.
Basically, by the time that our carriage arrives, at least disappears into the carriage, and before we go, like when you go to sleep at night, you'll notice like half the carriage has been turned upside down as she is desperately searching for blank paper for another notebook and realizes that she did not bring another notebook.
Maybe you should check the storage.
Ogomir
card?
actually wanted to check the general storage card or ask the general before he went to bed for a journal. Let's first check the general card if there is anything that looks like it there, or then ask the general.
Let's not call it the general card. That's very confusing.
Storage card.
The general card or the
The storage
generals?
Yeah.
Exactly. The general's storage card. Okay.
Yeah, the storage card doesn't really have notebooks. It's not a standard resource in addition to, food and lumber. There's no clear like food, lumber, notebooks, extra pens.
General.
Some alchemy supplies are definitely in there, but that's for
Yeah,
combat.
there are alchemy supplies. Actually, you do find paper, but you very quickly realize that it's like kind of special paper that is used in a few alchemical recipes or creation of special alchemical bullets.
Yeah, no.
And there's not enough for a notebook there.
And then ask the general, take him to the side, take him aside.
Maybe we can
Another
buy
point.
one in the village. Otherwise,
Yeah, so you just go up to the general and basically ask for a notebook.
Wait for like a private moment where he walks away and then just catch up to him.
All right, what exactly do you ask?
General, a weird request. Do you have a blank notebook or journal lying somewhere?
Yes, I should. I had one planned for the journey back, but well, we do end up in Iritis after all. Is it urgent?
Yes.
All right. Yes.
I promise you, I'll get you a new notebook when we get there.
I think this is about it.
These notebooks cost basically nothing. No worries about it.
It's not the monetary value, sir. It's the emotional one.
I think this is about as urgent as a fresh notebook gets.
Yeah.
Maybe first day of school.
I hope the wording
similar.
tells him a bit why I need it.
Yeah.
I mean, the conclusion is easily drawn.
Yeah,
probably.
Conclusion is quite easily drawn, but it also is a part that you've never really got a clear sense of the general. You're not quite sure whether some things just go entirely over his head, or whether he's just really good at looking past everything and knowing when is the time to like ask weird questions and when isn't.
Feel like it's the second one.
You
but it might be a mix.
you don't know, but it's probably the second one because he is the general.
Yeah.
He will disappear into his I want to say into his chambers, into his cart,
general
wagon, into his one single chamber on wheels, and come back with a black leather bound notebook.
Thank you, sir.
Give me just a moment. I'm sorry, I forgot something. Right, yes. It does, however, say in very neat calligraphy script in silver letters, Guy and Albas on the cover. But he tells you not to worry too much about that.
They should know your name, sir.
It's a notebook. It is mostly functional. If you don't like it, I don't mind if you rip off the cover or anything of that, because it feels awkward to write in a notebook with my name on it. It has no emotional value. No worries.
I'll relay that message, sir.
Excellent.
Small bow and walk back to the cart where I think Alice is.
I think by this point she has given up because she is an investigator. I have a literal +12 based on searching for stuff. So I'll have turned the cart upside down, inside out.
Yeah.
Decided, there's not going to be in here. Deduced, there's also nothing going to be on the supplies cart. I've given up and have gone to dinner. I'm just basically, she is at this point starting to look like an addict on withdrawal. She'll have reached for her journal several times.
Nix is cleaning the cart.
And so Orgrimir just looks in the cart and then sees Nix cleaning.
She's she ran off.
Oh, that's her.
I got this. Don't worry about it.
And try to find Alice, who's probably sitting somewhere.
Yeah, she's having dinner.
So sit next to her and hand out.
I'm fine. You got me a notebook? Where did you get it?
General. And I show her the silver letters.
Thank you. Open it up. Look at the cover. You just sort of see like her brain basically making deductions on, okay, you have this notebook with his name on it. He told me that it's from the general. Then this and this and this about would have happened. Okay, I really shouldn't protest about this.
He told me you could rip the name off or do anything about
You
that.
do not desecrate books like that. That is a horrid suggestion.
I'm just relaying the message what he would and would not mind.
Honestly, I don't believe that. Like, there's no way she's by now already started writing it while continuing the conversation. There's no
He's writing
way that the general would ever suggest ripping a book apart. I don't believe that. You're making that up.
Or
You're
like,
Orgrimmar
You're trying to
today
poke fun at me.
suggested that the general wouldn't mind if I ripped off this
It's a
book.
diary.
It's
It is
ridiculous.
not a diary. This is
Okay.
basically it's in this script that very quickly disappears from the journal. But it basically starts with a physical description of the Izirak.
It's not a diary. It's a journal. Damn it!
yeah, that one.
My diary journal.
You can quickly catch it starts with a physical, very detailed description of the Izirak. She's just
I
trying to
feel like-
retain memories.
I feel I'm missing a reference here.
It's
Yeah.
the show where they say diaries are for girls, and this is a journal, and
Yeah, that's
this mistakes it all to
Voldemort.
show a diary. Shit, journal.
It's Voldemort from the Harry Potter musical.
Oh,
The Harry Potter sequel, maybe? I'm not
I
sure.
think it's the last one, senior year, maybe.
Oh yeah, it's senior year. Yeah. Oh, it's still
Oh,
great though.
great.
But back
Okay.
to our obsession.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, please.
Diaries are for girls. Anyway,
It is a journal.
It is definitely a journal.
As I said,
You're not quite sure if Gaian Alba's one is actually a journal or a diary.
Don't care.
I mean, just relate
You
message.
don't.
It's yours for now. Maybe you can remember some of the stuff you wrote down last week's. Guess it's freshest now.
Maybe. I think the Izirak is important. I never thought that I'd ever give one of these notebooks away. Ever.
alright. I think Nix shows up after a bit, hurrying up for dinner. Sits down with a plate. Did you steal the general's journal? Elise, that's not. You can't do that.
Nix.
I know you wanted
Nix.
journal
Nix.
really badly, but
It's not what it looks like. I am the one who stole it.
You did not
it's not
steal it.
better.
There's literally no. Also, don't believe that. You are bullshitting your way through everything today. The general did not suggest ripping the journal apart, and you did not steal it from him. I don't believe that. You are not stealthy enough to steal this from him.
I can also fly.
That is.
No, I don't believe that.
This would literally. She just sort of freezes up, looks at the notebook. I don't have that information currently present.
When was the last time you flew 80 feet and survived?
That wasn't falling. That wasn't flying.
That was a
buddy.
week ago. Teleporting.
It's
I
just-
teleport you guys around all the time.
It's just flying the other way around.
If you ever want to, I could provide it.
It's
If,
technically levitating, but the other way around.
I mean, I can probably send you flying, but I don't think
You'd
you'd enjoy the experience.
I think Ori will actually laugh really loudly.
Just wait, buddy.
You see, half of the camp looking in your direction weirdly.
I mean,
then-
that happens more often.
Yeah, but it's this thing of they look instinctively, see it's you, and then just go back at what they were doing. You see a few people shake their head, but that's about it.
Definitely the misfits. Yeah, Elise is basically making up the whole day of notes, so she is busy writing, but she can have a conversation while writing as
Well, we don't want to distract you with trying to remember everything that happened today and last days and last
I
week.
have excellent memory, I'll have you know. Most of it is studying, but I have excellent memory. And a day is not enough time to make me forget.
It's good.
You know if you have good memory. I mean, you wouldn't know that you forgot.
What did you have for dinner 2 days ago?
Fish.
Let him finish.
Fish.
Yeah.
Okay, that would maybe not the very best question to ask.
Elise's answer is, I didn't care, so I didn't remember.
Wasn't 2 days ago actually the day that you... Oh no, that was a whole long time ago.
It's
that
much
you actually
longer
went to
ago.
catch fish.
I
Yeah,
am
yeah.
now actually thinking that food would be a...
I'm not sure if Nix is right. He's just remembering it as fish.
Yeah.
Elise will not
it-
confirm she does not write this down in her notebooks and she doesn't care enough to remember.
Yeah. Evenings is usually breads and broths. Bread or broth, not both. And the morning is basically like warm meals because you need your strength for the day.
So it probably wasn't fish, but Nick still chooses to remember fish.
Yeah. And are you looking
In
at him
case of doubt, fish.
This is like an in case of doubt kind of answer.
I also really like that Ori asked the question and doesn't himself remember what exactly was for dinner 2 days ago.
Or he was trying to make a point.
Okay, so I guess you can know if your memory is bad, but how would you know if your memory is good?
So if you know exactly what happened.
Do you remember the day-to-day ritual that you went through during the training?
Which training?
Training for the strikers. I'm asking Nick, not you.
Oh.
I think so. But how do
Well,
I
what
know
did
if
you?
I forgot something?
I can check for you.
Huh.
I've gone through the same thing. We can compare. Also, I may... Nah, probably not. It's been a
Alright,
while.
I guess there are ways to check if you
It
remember.
may have changed in the last 12 years. It may especially have changed in the last 7 years.
Oh yeah,
Well,
definitely.
Dreidan. It probably changed a lot.
But it's also Elise, who has wanted to get back into the field for a while. She has amazing memory, and she will have watched training quite enviously because she was not allowed in the field. So basically, she's probably up to date with current practices and would be able to pinpoint differences between various different times because that's how she works. It's in one of the older journals. The history of training practices at the Strikers Guild of the last 12 years. No, not issue 2. It's only over the last 12 years. You can fit that in a single journal.
It's a journal and then like all these separate paper notes that are added. Also, just for your information, just to in case this is relevant, Nix, you would definitely remember that training and also what you did in it. Like, I just looked your intelligence is 12, average intelligence for people is 10, so you remember that.
Oh, definitely. It was also a big deal to Nick. So
yeah.
So your memory's pretty good.
But just so you know that you don't have to roll for it.
yeah, good. Trading? No, definitely remember. All right.
Training is a very good reference point because it is something that you actively try to remember. So it is non-memorable, non-distinct activities that do not create lasting impact, but do have significance, which means they do not get filed away under unimportant information, but also are not very prominently displayed. Very prominently remembered, such as terrible embarrassments of great joys.
Seems really rather easy though to remember something if you have to do it every day for weeks.
Yeah.
If you forget that.
That is part of memorization.
Yeah, so it's easy to remember because it's literally a memorization process because you keep repeating it. I'm not sure if it's a good benchmark, but anyway, we should.
We have some long days ahead of us.
Yeah, get some rest.
Almost done.
Take time.
Sure. Yeah, you're almost done. I'm sure you're almost finished writing.
We're on page. By the time we're at this point in the conversation, I think we're on page 12, and she is close to being done.
Or you will move to the carriage and go to bed.
All right.
Did Nix actually clean up well?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So I think at least at the end, it may have gotten a little more haphazard shoving of stuff because dinner smells were coming along, and
it tries and
go to bed. And
basically, once it's done, at least we'll also close up the notebook and be like, "You coming?"
Yeah.
I have this sudden urge to jump on Ori while he's in bed. Just jump right on top of him.
Should I stay outside? No.
No?
All right. Oh, yeah. Oh, to scare him. Right. Yeah. Sure.
What are you talking about?
You wanted to jump him in bed. I was. I'm not getting in your way, but I don't need to see it.
Yeah, I used to do that all the time to my brother.
What?
He was
Okay.
whenever he was annoying prick, like in the middle of the night, I'd come in, especially if I had to get up early in the morning for church or something like that, and I just just smack a pillow on his head.
Okay, that does sound like fun. Yes.
Yeah.
We should definitely start a pillow fight.
I'm noting this down. The 9th of May, 2016.
Don't.
You made me and Chris facepalm for the same reason.
Anyway.
Congrats. That's the first. Now let's not have it happen ever again.
The question remains.
Nix is currently
Help him or not?
right now. Nix is considering how he's going to win this pillow fight. Okay.
The element of surprise is most important.
Yes, that's very good. You're right. Nix will try to sneak into the caravan.
Make me a stealth check.
Alice is very
That's a
pleased
bad-
with herself for having expertly planted this idea in Nix's head, which was
I am going
literally the goal.
I'm going to assume I took a small size for this, a tactical size. But it's still a bad roll, so it's only going to be an 18. But because Nix is probably trying too hard to not succeeding very well in containing his laughter.
Ori, are you already in bed?
I am already in bed.
Are you already sleeping?
How long did you guys stay out?
Not very long after.
He's not sleeping yet, but also
Make me a
not.
perception check.
Nope. I rolled a 7 plus 6 is 13, so nope.
Smash! Yeah. Make an attack.
No, you're just Ori. You're being smashed in the face by a cushion.
By a mosquito.
Alice is literally outside the carriage just watching this. And just making like a note in her journal in the invisible ink.
I feel like
Or
Ori
adding some more.
feels like there's like a
It's
tiny
great.
small creature jumping on him.
Nick
Can
will
I just
start jumping on you.
Try and grab him and throw him off.
You can try. Make me a grapple check.
Is that CMB or what?
Yeah. CMB against CMD.
It's a natural 20.
Okay, then you succeed.
Right, so
You
what
definitely
do you want to do? Because I assume that you do not want to like throw Nix with full force against the wall or something.
I think I think I want to throw him out of the carriage.
Sure. Nix is small sized right now, so it's kind of like tossing a child.
Yeah.
For you, it's like tossing a. No, yeah, for you, it's like tossing a child. Yeah, like a small child.
So
Instinctively.
this happens in like a few moments. So from the outside, there's Nix who is like sneaking into the caravan.
Sneak attack!
And there's a moment of nothing. There is someone shouts sneak attack, and there is a like a kind of dull sound. And a moment later, Nix is being thrown out of the carriage.
I would like to sidestep
This was a
Nix so
bad idea.
that it just flies by.
Face in the ground.
Oh, no, as he flies by, I would like to cast Featherfall on him. On Nix. So he just sort of floats onwards a little bit before.
You can cast Featherfall.
Yeah. Sylph.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So you descend a little bit slower, and you kind of glide. You glide the last part. It would have been great were it not for the fact that now your face gets drawn through the mud for like this little bit longer time because your face lands first.
Orgamy will just stand at the entrance carriage just waiting till Nick gets back.
Or Alice will just sort of like, hi, dive under your arm into the carriage.
It was her idea.
So Nick, you said something about sending me flying?
I was small for this. I was making it easy for you.
Of course.
Someday I'll make you small, and then I'll send you flying. Just wait.
Looking forward to it.
Good.
Good night, Nick.
Yeah. Good night.
And I will
I'm gonna
flick
wash my
Elise
face.
on the ear because I will have a very strong idea that it's her idea.
I would like to try to dodge this.
Just make me in a push roll.
Yeah.
Don't make me guess into mechanics for this.
14?
16.
Ah,
He wins.
Ooh.
Hold the journal.
don't care. Just go to bed.
You poke Ian Albus' name.
Now the name's off.
No, it's on there. It's like it's you're not. It's very much made into the cover. Like it's not some like bad cheap ink that you can basically like
Flick
Just-
off.
get off. It's
These journals cost nothing.
you don't know his salary.
Yeah, that's true. That's
For
true.
him, it's probably nothing.
Yeah. All right.
Uh,
So tomorrow is
all right.
God.
You take a long rest, I assume.
Yes.
If we are allowed to by the Game Master's grace.
I wouldn't have said it unless you were. You take a long rest.
Fair enough.
And you wake up the next morning ready to travel to the nearby village.
Mm-hmm.
But for now, let's take a
Well-
break.
Come on.
Yeah.
Because it's about break time and a good break moment.
Yes.
So we will be back in about 50 minutes. So like 37 or so. Or so.
All right, we'll see you in a bit.
then.
See ya.
And we're back.
We're back! I heard. I heard tell we were back. I hope it's true.
I'm pretty sure that we're back.
If
Excellent.
we're not back, tell us. Oh, wait.
If
We're back.
we're not back, then something is really weird going on, because then it's apparently playing another version of us. Because I can't see us on stream. Yeah. Morning breaks. As it usually does at this time of day.
Everyone's alive, except for...
Lovely potion spoons.
Everyone is actually alive.
Some of the junk that have been stuffed in like the alchemy setup of Alice, which is usually like in the exact same format, there's been like some things misplaced and that have been sort of just stacked on Nyx as he wakes up.
Yeah.
Like the stuff that is not supposed to be there, it's just sort of stacked on top of you.
You're a trash can this morning. Or a shelf.
Nyx
I'm
turns
entirely
over,
sure.
and the stuff just, I think, falls off the bed, probably.
I mean, you put it there, I don't know what it is.
At
least that was very light.
Your mess.
Almost done.
The castle's today, right?
I mean, I think
Now
we're
Nick
first
is
going to have
awake.
to gather some information at the village.
Oh.
Seeing what we can find there. And... Alright, now it's done. Alright, sorry. I'm paying attention, totally.
Going to the village, finding out anything about the castle. Storm the castle, sneak the castle. I'm not sure.
I mean, we've got 5 days, right?
We have some time. I don't want to leave the caravan too long.
I definitely think that we should make sure that we take a little bit of time to get some proper information. First, go to the village with Dino and do a scouting round of the castle and get a proper rest, because I'm not sure that this is the exact lineup that I want to go into the castle with.
What, you mean the three of us?
No, I mean, like, I've got 4 salves, Alchemist's Fire, and 1 bottle of lightning. That's what I have.
Yeah.
So it's defensive. It's a defensive layout.
We can take part of the day for you to just make something.
Maybe we should have more lightning. You did have the improved lightning, right? Or did you
I do have the improved lightning.
Oh, you do? Okay, good.
Yep, I do have the improved lightning, but I was wondering...
Because he was weak to
if
lightning.
Hmm?
The vampire guy was different. He was weak to lightning, not fire.
Yeah, but...
So we may need more of that.
And I was taking the Alchemist's Fire in case that we needed fire to get rid of anything.
Is the castle actually...
I've got fire covered.
That's true.
I think you
That's
should
true.
get lightning, more lightning.
Right, well, I can make this. So, sorry, you were saying, Ori.
Is the castle actually very close to the village? Like within a day's travel, or...
It's definitely within a day's travel. It is not extremely close. Like, it's not like next door. But it is within a day's travel.
Yeah, I think this line out is fine for today, but for actually going into the castle, probably
Yeah, I
not
was thinking of Alice making a lot of stuff and us scouting ahead and finding a weak spot, but if it's that far, then it might not be the best idea.
Also,
I mean,
we shouldn't split it.
There is a limited amount of stuff that I can make in a day. If I try and make more of this, it gets very unstable.
Yeah, also...
I cannot get that much on me. There's a very high chance that I'll blow us and possibly the caravan, maybe, I don't know, even the village.
So taking a day to make whatever you can safely?
That's my usual loadout. If I want to make things that are less unstable, we're gonna be here a while. Like a good long while.
Have a while.
Okay. We also have the stuff on our belts, so it's not as potent, of course.
Exactly. Like I could make more versions of what we already have on the belt. But as I said, that takes a lot longer to make, and it's not as effective. And additionally, I need a stationary table for that.
I can bring that.
No, a stationary table, like proper stationary, stable, no rickety wheels under it, no wind blowing anywhere.
Like that in a village.
Exactly. So I don't think there's a very good chance of us finding an alchemy shop there to make that. So
It's fine.
it's going to be a limited number, and I'll figure out
That's
tomorrow
fine.
what exactly what
Then
we're going to say.
Go in, ask questions, and travel further.
Yeah.
Also, we really should not go scouting without the getaway vehicle. So
The what?
the getaway car over there. It's Elise.
Oh! Wow, that took a while.
Anyway,
I didn't get some coffee.
let's go to the village.
Let's first get some breakfast.
Oh yeah, that. Oh, yes. I forgot about breakfast.
Breakfast is a thing.
What about second break? Okay, no.
Let's start with first breakfast, shall we?
There is no
Breakfast
second
is
breakfast.
served, and it's quite a bit. Yeah, like that's it. Breakfast is served. It's not really something special. It does seem to contain some local meats, but not really anything.
No toads
note.
or something.
Centipedes.
Direwolf? No.
No.
Probably not.
Let's just
shouldn't
go
eat
I'll make me
vampiric
fortitude
direwolf.
save to not contract vampirism. No.
I think
No, right.
Elise is taking an additional bag. Usually she just travels with like weapons and like a small backpack with stuff, but I think there's an additional bag hanging from that is definitely like a bit larger.
You want me to carry something for you?
I can handle this. Like it's not that heavy. It's a bit clinky sometimes.
I'm not offering because I think you can't handle it.
I also don't want to inconvenience you because you're already carrying my portable alchemy table.
I'm a big guy. I can carry more.
No, I can carry stuff too.
But with that guy, indeed.
Yeah, the problem is he doesn't need to be stealthy because he's got magic for it.
Yeah, that's true. Alright.
If you're offering, shove the bag into your hands. Like it's just a sack with some supplies and then like a tip of a crow.
And this one.
No, it's just like it's a relatively small sack. Not the tip of it like sticks the tip of a crowbar.
I had this cliche image of like the woman shopping and the man carrying everything like
But
box.
That's sexy.
Elise travels like super lightly, and everything that she has on her is useful. This is like there's the crowbar in it, and if you sort of like feel around, you'll get like a sharp end of a hook through the sack, possibly some rope, maybe python or two.
Alright.
Not to be confused with a python.
Why are you keeping snakes? No. Okay. Alright. Let's head out.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Take the small path to the village.
Yeah, you walk for 20 minutes to the small path towards the village. When you're like an hour in, you realize that it's not just the village is immediately after that. The village is still a bit away. But eventually you encounter someone. You're now traveling through quite thick forest, and it's a bit dark underneath these quite numerous trees. So you actually encounter a figure who has who seems to be carrying a lantern, like on his belt.
Is it on?
It is on, yes. And
How dark is it?
it's more like a bit twilight-ish,
Okay.
Right.
twilight
Makes
dark.
sense. Makes sense.
The most noticeable thing about this man is probably the fact that he has a heavy crossbow that is currently pointing at you. And it kind of just appeared. Does not seem to be magical or anything. He knows this place. He is wearing clothes that camouflage quite well. You know, apart from the lantern.
So hostile.
Not the warm welcome we were expecting.
Hi.
You mean no harm?
He kind of lowers his crossbow. And draws out a dagger. I hope you don't mind that I will test that before I just assume it of you.
Can I give him a once over?
Sorry?
I would like to give him a once over for exactly the same that he's looking for.
All right. Yeah, go ahead. Make me your choice of, I would say, investigation or sense motive.
You know the answer to that.
I know the answer to that.
Sense motive? It's sense.
It's only a 10 for a 22.
Only a 22. It's not a vampire, so let's
Right.
get that out of the way. His behavior is not surprising.
Yeah.
Like, you assume that in his situation you would do the same. And he does not seem hostile. He seems very careful.
After the one's over, I'll actually hold forward an arm.
Right. He just kind of pokes you with it. He doesn't cut or anything. He just pokes, and you feel a short, soft sting.
Oh, it's a silver dagger.
No, it's not a silver dagger.
Oh, okay.
That's the entire point. It's not silver.
Wait, then I don't understand this.
What is he testing?
He's testing whether.
He's testing if a non-silvered weapon will hurt you.
Exactly.
I got it. Yeah.
Because of immunity or being less affected by non-silvered weapons. That's the thing that he is testing.
Smart.
As he just sort of pokes, just take the blade out of his hand and just cut across the palm so that it makes a clear gash, hand dagger back.
He kind of looks at you with a surprised look. Miss, I do know what I'm doing. I've done this before. But I appreciate your enthusiasm.
It seems very inefficient.
He takes out a rag and kind of just cleans his dagger. Sir?
Is this Chris, is this a custom that happens in this, what we were used to, or?
Oh, make me a knowledge history check. Or knowledge local, actually. Knowledge local.
I have knowledge local. It's 17.
17. It isn't a custom where you came from. You have heard of the thing of checking with a non-silver dagger to see if it can penetrate skin. It's a relative, not normal, but it's something that you've heard happening. You've heard that it is something that happens, especially in regions that are further removed from larger cities, or have vampires in the near vicinity.
I'm mostly thinking if Ori would accept this.
If Alice sees you hesitating, she'll just sort of turn to you. Or I will poke you. And I will definitely be less careful about it than this guy will. Sorry, I didn't want to interfere, but...
Nix will hold out his hand. If he reaches out with his dagger, Nix will kind of swing his hand at it and just impale his hand on the dagger.
Nix, don't make holes in your hand. It's not polite.
Impale your own hand on the dagger. All right.
And then show the hole. Look. and then makes it close up.
Yeah.
There.
Did you make that in advance?
The man kind of raises his eyebrows and is like, "You are very determined to prove your innocence," which I have to say means that you're either just weird or you're even more suspicious.
At this point, Alice turns to Ori like, okay,
We're
this is
mostly
where you come in, save us with your talk.
Ori will start to take off his gauntlets, because I feel like the full plate is also like part of gauntlets.
Mhm.
And then hold a finger out, but also like flash his long sword, like, if you poke me too hard, I will poke you back. Not saying it, but thinking it, and looking him straight in the eye. And only hold a finger out.
Yeah.
It's a
Sure,
giant finger, so it's pretty big still.
Yeah. Sir, I promise you, I do not mean you any harm. Not any more than you mean me. And he will like poke your finger. Finger might actually have been the worst choice because there are a lot more nerves on your fingers than on your wrist, but that's okay. So you do feel a sting, and it is a sting of like, ow.
Just bluffing through that I don't feel anything.
Yeah. And he will put away the dagger again. He will have cleaned it before he poked you.
Yeah.
Just to get it clear.
Shut the
All right.
on.
He now just puts his pretty large crossbow. He kind of just puts it against a nearby tree.
I'd keep it on you.
Don't worry, I will take it with me in a moment's notice. First, I would like to ask you what your business here is.
That's
You are approaching a village. I assume that you knew. No.
Actually, do you mind poking yourself with that dagger first?
He's fine,
course.
Nix.
I want to check.
He shows no signs.
He will hand you the dagger. He will say, "I assume that you want to test this yourself." And he extends his arm.
I will be gentle.
All right. Yeah, his skin does not show any resistance to. It shows the normal amount of resistance that skin would show.
Yeah.
He will take back the dagger.
As I said, pest control.
Hoping to ensure that you don't have to do this rudimentary test to next passerbys.
Well, if that does indeed mean what I assume it means, then you are certainly very welcome. If you would follow me, please.
You don't. It's
So polite. Ever so polite, Lord.
He will walk on, and you will get to a clearing in the forest that is next to what seems to be a lake. You're pretty far north and far away from any ocean, so you're quite sure it's just a lake. And there is a small village here. There are not that many houses. There are a couple of them, but it is clearly a small town. A few people walk by, greet this guard. You see that quite some of the people here are carrying around large crossbows and are dressed similarly to the man that you just encountered. Other than that, there are a few farms which are planting and harvesting crops that Alice and Nix are not familiar with. Ori, you may recall a few of those because you do come from a colder climate. and you do recognize a few. Like, oh, that's something that I remember from back home.
Yeah.
Not really that your tribe didn't really do much agriculture, but you did trade with human settlements.
Yeah.
And you see quite a lot of fishing boats.
Fish. Do the crossbows wielders also have silver bolts?
Make me a perception check.
Nope.
Be hard to
That's
come by.
4 plus 6 is 10.
It's quite hard to like. It's in general. First of
dip
all,
her in a
most
quiver,
of the
right?
crossbows are currently not loaded
Fair enough.
because they are inside of a village. And you see a few bolts, but it's kind of hard to distinguish a steel tip and a silver tip from distance from looking at it alone.
Mhm.
So you're not sure.
No. And is he leading us to like a square or an inn or a...
He's leading you to a. Oh, that's a good question, actually. He will lead you to what seems to be the biggest building in town, which does not say much. It's basically the only 2-story building in town. And he opens the wooden door and kind of invites you in. For the people, to get kind of a reference image, for the people of you who have played Skyrim, which I know at least one of you hasn't, it kind of has this vibe of like Dawnstar. Dawnstar Mortal vibes of a small town with like wooden houses, and very clearly like fishing is a big part.
Yeah.
But in this case, it's not the ocean; it is a lake.
All right.
I
So
apologize
this
for
is
that.
an inn?
It's not an inn.
I think it's more like a longhouse for what Vikings had, like where they...
Okay.
Yeah. There is a table in the room, where there are a couple of chairs and one chair in the back. That seems to be there seems to be an elderly man who is sitting in it. Grayed out hair, but does have quite strong features and a stern look. From all context clues, this is the village elder.
Also literally an older man?
Yeah, it's also literally an older man. Not gonna make another Skyrim reference.
Thank you.
And you see that there are a few servants, or what seem to be servants, but you kind of assume to be servants, that are cleaning some things up. And there's also a young man who comes walking by, who basically just leaves as you enter. And your escort and this young man also greet each other. And
Knowing that Stallion Reed is an expert in illusion and mind control magic, I'd like to just I'd like to keep a sharp eye on the people milling about, see if they paying us any particularly more attention than just outsiders coming in.
all right.
Or something like that. Basically keeping an eye out for someone who's suspiciously interested in us.
Yeah. All right. You may make me an insight check.
A sense motive then?
A sense motive, yes. Additions.
Sense motive?
Sense motive.
Alright.
I mean, technically you also have a giant with you, so that will also get some stairs.
Oh, it's a shit roll.
Really more about
I am
trying
also
to
spending an
share, I guess.
inspiration on this. That's a really shit roll. It's a 12.
Damn. All right.
Yeah, I rolled natural 4 and a
Can
plus
you
2.
get a 12?
Yeah, this is sense motive. It's a
Wow.
wisdom-based skill.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I have a natural -1. So,
That's 5 points of difference with any intelligence-based skill.
exactly. And I've only got 3 ranks in it, so.
Yeah, the looks that you get, as far as you can tell, are mostly like, basically like, you're outsiders. We're not sure we can trust you, but you are being escorted, so we're not too worried.
Alright.
You do not get any kind of looks that are really studying you. Most are just glances. You might also make me a craft alchemy check.
Ooh. That is a craft check, so that does not fall under knowledge skills. That is, once again, a very shit roll.
Retire to die.
Good. Get him out now.
I don't want to retire the die. This is my pretty black, shiny die. Yeah, sure, I'll spend another inspiration for this shit. Natural 2. Thank you. That becomes a natural 6. So it's an 18.
An 18. Still, you enter and you a smell immediately hits you. It hits all of you. But you also recognize this. You do not know for sure which materials that there are exactly, but you recognize a few smells of a few chemical ingredients that you're not too familiar with, because they are mostly they seem to be mostly herbal in nature. But they do seem to be like basically kind of protective charms or protective measures.
Garlic.
Right.
Alchemical
No, not
garlic.
Chemical garlic. It's in a
Make
cold
mental
area.
note.
They can't farm garlic here. Actually, you don't know where you farm garlic.
I think it's not that hard, actually. But anyway.
That's
alright.
why there are no vampires in this day and age.
It's probably the reason.
Anyway, the man who brought you here gives a bow in greeting. What looks to be some kind of bow. It's more of a sign of respect.
Mhm.
Says, Elder, I have found strangers at the border. They come with tell that they, if I assume correctly, are sent to take care of the vampire. And the elder looks up. Well. Strikers, I presume.
Presumed correctly. So,
I see. Please sit down. I would love to stand up for formalities, but I'm afraid that these legs can no longer carry me.
and is there a seat suited for a giant's?
Basically, one that can
There.
hold you.
They're all right.
Human.
You kind of have learned to make do that you're kind of sitting wide-legged a
On
bit.
a stool or something.
They don't have arm. If they don't have arm rests, you
Yeah,
can take two
they
of
don't
them,
have
so-
they don't have armchairs. They are basically the best you can get for the best human-sized chairs you can get for a giant, which means no arms, well made.
Yeah, sturdy.
Yeah.
And take a seat and wide-legged.
Alice will take out her notebook, visibly. And just sort of also take a
Right.
seat, ready to start taking notes.
Yes. The elder points to one of the people passing by and kind of stops her in her tracks and says, Bina, could you please provide her guests with tea? And the woman nods. No,
No,
not today.
nothing. There's nothing happening. Nothing at all.
Yeah. And
Guessing this is a reference to something else.
this reference.
I'm
to
not sure if he's a hugger or not.
Oh God. Let's stop with the references.
Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's stop with the reference that we know no one else gets. The woman in a moment later comes back with teas that have a very strong smell to them.
Is it the smell of garlic?
Can
Sorry.
you sort of
It is
identify?
not the smell of garlic.
Okay.
Is it similar to the alchemical spell?
It's not necessarily similar to that one. It is a different smell, but it is definitely smells that are like, this wouldn't necessarily make for a great tea, or wouldn't necessarily like change the taste. So there's definitely something more going on there than just you being served tea.
Can I try to identify what's in it by the smell?
Absolutely. Craft alchemy.
Don't get free inspiration on this one. That's better. 24. It's not a great roll.
Yeah, it's kind of you're not exactly what's all in there, but it seems to be a general theme of cleansing materials.
Nothing poisonous.
Definitely nothing poisonous.
That's the most important one.
But it seems to be more protective than poisonous in nature.
Right.
And Nix will definitely look at it weirdly and kind of glance over at Elise to check.
Elise takes a sip.
Then
Burns her tongue a little.
Nix does not.
Am I correct to presume that you have a mutual gain of us dealing with the vampire?
Well, it is a creature who threatens our area, so to us it would be very much appreciated, to be sure.
How's your relationship with Zuluk?
We know of the creature. We know his reach does not extend to the village. We make sure to pay our respects, and in exchange, if any of us have to leave, he leaves us alone.
All right, that's good to hear.
We handle him as any. We handle it as any of our kin would handle a nature spirit.
Saw the crops growing outside. Seems like
Yes.
a good harvest.
Well, this far into the mountains, in the areas this cold, our primary concern is food, and we have several ways of obtaining it.
Nix is going to lean over to Elise and kind of ask, like, "What kin are they? Or is nobody going to?"
There's like loads of tribes that deal with nature spirits. Like, whisper back. There's a variety of nature spirits. Honestly, nothing important. I'll catch you up later. I think Ori needs to get through some pleasantries first, and then we can get down to business. But
Okay.
I mean, the fish and the crops might give the illusion of a good settlement location, but the neighbors might begs the question: why did you not leave sooner?
You see him laugh softly. and then start to cough. It is a question that is often asked by outsiders to us. I do not mean to presume, but I believe as a giant that your kin is mostly nomadic usually. Am I correct?
In my case, yes.
Then there may be a difference in culture because for me and my family, my kin, my tribe, we usually stay put. We do not travel far. I especially cannot travel far. We have our families here. This is our place where we are born. The place where we grew up. And for many of us, the place where we will also eventually die.
Let's hope that doesn't come to pass quick.
Well, I'm an old man. Let's hope that it doesn't come to pass in an unnatural way.
One should not underestimate an elder man in a young man's game.
I am not the village elder for nothing, of course.
Given
But
that you're still... Sorry.
I hope that you do understand that for us, moving is not a desired option.
And to be fair, you have fared fairly well in keeping this creature out.
We have excellent protectors. You've met one of them already.
In that case, you might also have people who know how to deal with this vampire. Know about the lair, the location, any weaknesses.
We mostly try to avoid this vampire and his lair.
But something like old maps of the castle?
Even before the vampire got there, the castle's lord was aloof, distant, hostile from time to time, to be honest.
We've
Not
seen
that
some-
much. Not that
We've
much has changed since the arrival of the vampire.
we've encountered some dire wolves, well, dead ones that appear to be enthralled by the vampire. Are there any other creatures under its control that we might encounter that you have knowledge of?
Mostly creatures that are more often associated with vampires. Wolf, certainly. We're also extra careful to take care of bats and ravens around here, or crows more often, actually.
Can I make a sense motive check?
For what?
Specifically, when I asked if they have someone who knows about their weaknesses, and he says, we usually don't go there. And I'm trying to determine if it means just a manner of saying, or that someone popped in his mind, like, yeah, but no one except for that guy or that woman.
You may make me a sense motive check. It's pretty easy one.
Fair enough. That's a 19, so that's a 24.
You're quite sure that he was not quite finished with his sentence, and that he did very clearly have someone in mind, and he was about to tell you about this figure, but then was asked another question and answered that question first.
So,
All right.
Want to give a slight jab on one.
And to realize that he's on the other side of the table.
Look at him intently, because I know that some more information was coming.
But we do have a villager who has been to the castle and has seen the vampire somewhere in the past. We avoid the area usually at all costs, because those who go there usually do not come back.
A scout then of some kind?
No, actually. A fisherman.
It's close to the lake.
Not really. He was off on his own.
What was his name?
His name is Garth. Garth Coslet.
A fisherman.
An older man as well. He is still alive.
Fisherman lost in the woods near a castle. There
Not
should be a
necessarily
story
lost.
behind
We
that.
don't know.
Well, if there is something special about it, he hasn't told me. He hasn't told yet. To us, he tells that it was merely him going for a walk, taking the wrong turn, and accidentally ending up in a different place than he expected.
He might have information that could contribute to our process.
He certainly might.
All right.
Before we ask him,
Yes.
do you have any ways of alchemy here? Alchemy tables, ingredients.
We have a shaman in town. Shaman, a wise woman, a herbalist, who does who brews some kind of potions, creates a variety of materials from herbal remedies and such. If you're looking for an alchemist, that is the closest we have.
Okay, glance at Elise, and then at Nyx.
Does she have anything against mind control?
She does have some simple protections against them, but they're usually quite, many of them quite location bound. For the ones that are not location bound, they are shorter of duration, and we use them more often as a potential cure than as a means of protection.
Then these are the two people that can help us the most, I think.
Yeah.
You know any of the other villages have had experience of losing, forgive my crude wording, losing people to this vampire, or having people gone missing, experiences with its power, anything you could tell us about its behaviors, its abilities, its weaknesses, its strengths?
My apologies, I did not quite catch you. Did you say villagers or villages?
No, villagers. Sorry. The people who live here.
Sorry. Yes, the people who live here. A couple, but none of them who remember much about it.
Right.
I'm afraid that a few of them who have fallen under the control of the vampire have been seen by Goth, but under full control of the vampire.
Right. So he's got guards.
DM question, would I know anything about turning back people from vampirism?
Vampirism or from control?
No, from full vampirism. That's the distinction that I previously heard.
Full vampirism.
That's basically like this was full control. I think this is not like turning an actual vampire, but turning a vampire thrall.
Yeah. Like vampire thralls, it kind of depends on the
Full vampires is undead, basically, right?
Yeah.
So
Do you mean vampire thralls or vampire spawn?
I mean those the villagers that were taken. Basically, I want to determine if it's worth to try and learn their names and appearances, so that we may capture them and try to save them, or if we're just going to give up and murder them.
For people who okay, so there's a distinction here. No, you know what? Make me a knowledge monster check. Let's not give this away for free.
Sure.
Natural 1.
That is a natural 23.
Excellent.
What? Oh, okay, with inspiration. Yeah.
Natural 23, which becomes knowledge monster, a 33.
There we go. So I can just tell anything I
Back.
want to say. For normal vampires, normal vampires, there is a very strong distinction between, actually, kind of between 3 types of vampires. Vampire spawn, who are kind of vampires, but not really. They're like a weaker version of the vampires. They are more easily controlled. To turn back any kind of vampire, even a vampire spawn, is incredibly difficult because it is basically resurrection that you're doing. And even then, like it's kind of a wild guess whether the person will like regain their own, like whether the person will become normal again, or whether they will forever be changed by the event of it happening. There are the usually just called vampires or turned vampires, which are people who didn't start out as a vampire, but became one either through turning from another vampire or through complicated and dark rituals. Turning them back is practically impossible. Even like killing them and resurrecting them usually turns them back as a vampire and not as a person, if it turns them back at all. And then there are so-called the pure blood vampires, which is kind of used by pure blood vampires as a status and to make themselves sound greater than they actually are. They're not more powerful than normal vampires. They do have some quirks. They are there's no turning back a pure blood vampire because they were never something else than a vampire to begin with.
All right.
And then there's also people who are under control of a vampire, which is usually something that does not last too long, and is usually used by vampires to feed on people without them knowing. Kind of like charm them, feed on them, and then make them forget. Because that's safe and easy. But this is a vampire with mind-controlling magic.
Right, and it seems
for
like
mind-controlling magic, you would either need abilities to dispel said magic or break a curse. Another very easy solution is kill the source.
Yeah. So
Right.
basically, if we think they're thralls, we try to knock them out unconscious. If we think they're vampires, we kill them.
From given information, would I be able to determine if they're thralls or spawn?
You stab them with a normal dagger.
You would have to ask Arthur that.
Right.
The elder does not necessarily know exactly what you're looking for. So,
yeah.
Right. I'll make notes of it.
So, where could we find these 2 persons before we set out for the castle?
Also, we might want to rest here today. Set out tomorrow.
Prepare at least. Which is why I was hoping this shaman also has an alchemy bench of some kind. Or something I at least could use.
Oh, you
You got the portable alchemy table with you.
Or that.
So what are you going to do?
Asking for directions to.
The two persons, the fisherman and the shaman.
All right.
By the way,
The,
maybe we're gonna scout after that. Yeah.
You find the fisherman on shore on the piers. It's currently like basically. And I may be entirely wrong about how fishing works. He seems to just have gone back from a haul of fish, and is now kind of sorting said fish. And you see him. He is also an older man. He's sitting on a stool with like a bunch of medium-sized crates, and he just he has a net in front of him, and he just pulled out a fish that is still twisting and moving, throws it in one of the crates. Every now and again, he has a fish and throws it back into the lake.
Sort of keeping an eye on Nyx.
And I'll be approaching the man.
Stranger.
Orgelmir Heuder. Striker. And sitting like in a meditative position, cross-legged.
He looks back a moment before you sit down, and it kind of goes like this. A giant, I see.
Well observed.
It's not that hard.
Actually, your observations is why I'm here.
Smooth.
Assuming you're talking about something else than me telling you're a giant, because I think you've already figured that one out.
It's hard to miss. Is he still throwing fish back and sorting them into crates?
He has the decency to stop with sorting fish while having a conversation.
Damn. Makes it
I'm
disappointing.
specifically talking about Castle Morgrim.
Ships known. Usually when people come to talk to me, it's about that horrid place.
Not for the same reason. I can wait you that. Some people want stories. I just need information.
I think at this point we'll also make our way over, like with notebook and pen. Sort of stand behind Ori.
Right? Go ahead, tell me what you know.
Well, first,
tell me what you want to know.
First, how did you even get to that castle in the first place? I assume it's not near the lake.
No, it's not. I went into the forest, traveling, taking a walk, enjoying the surroundings. I'll say quite a while ago. Got lost. Thought I knew the way back. Was suddenly finding myself in front of a large gate, and was inexplicably drawn to the place.
Mhm.
Hmm.
So you may have been led there, actually.
Perhaps, I don't know.
Yet you did not enter?
No, I did.
Really?
Did enter. I was greeted by a well-dressed man. Invited me in for dinner. Invited me to stay. I followed. I do not really know why. There were people in there, a castle. Strange folk. 3 people finely dressed. 6 or more rough.
That is excluding
seem
the
to-
lord who greeted you?
It was not the lord who greeted me. It was a butler, I presume. I'm not too familiar with big castles and their lords. But it is excluding the lord. The lord came later. A man, really seeing him. Make my hair stand up straight. Scary looking man. The look of disdain in his eyes for anything in the room.
Including his servants.
Definitely servants.
Huh.
Quite some servants around, by the way. Servants who are all smiling just a little too much and a little too big.
Huh.
Were the servants armed?
No.
Did they have the exterior signs of vampirism?
The servants themselves, don't think so. Not as far as I can tell.
Did you
I-
ask armed or harmed?
Armed.
Right.
Neither. They looked in good health. They did not carry any weapons. They looked like normal people.
Any bite marks on the neck?
Not what I could see from the distance that I was
Fair
signaling at.
enough.
I'm quite sure they were not vampires because there were clearly others at the table. The 3 well-dressed people.
Right. They need
had
cattle
this,
as well. They
this
need food.
aura, this. Yeah. Something about them. I cannot quite say what.
3 at the table, you say? That including
Yes.
the Lord?
Yes. Sorry, still excluding the Lord. The Lord joined later at the table.
Okay.
For a man with so much disdain for his servants, guests, why would he invite you to dinner?
I have no idea. I'm afraid that it could be nothing good.
Did you talk about anything particular?
Not really. Empty conversation.
Or empty
I did not
memory,
tell
was it?
anything about the village. I
As
was,
far as you remember.
Good.
yes. I remember it quite vividly, I think.
And how did you escape?
Stroke of luck, I think. The Lord seemed to be distracted. I was first led to a chamber. Led to my chambers, as they said. Quite a beautiful area, to be fair. Guest chambers, they were quite a few. After that, I was said that I could take a look around if I wished to. I went downstairs, and there was a moment that this lord, I heard shouting. I did not know what. I seemed to be distracted. I saw all the servants turn and run somewhere. As if they just knew what they had to do. I do not know what's happening, to be fair. My only thought was I want to leave. So I just ran.
A moment of clarity then.
Not so much a moment of clarity, more an opportunity to run and not be caught.
Mhm.
Fair enough.
Do you remember what you ate? I hear that's a good test of your memory of the night.
Yes,
Of brunch nicks.
I do. He describes the meal in detail.
Mhm.
It sounds very much like a noble's meal, like a 5-course meal. Very rich. Also, like kind of normal stuff what nobles eat. Not like raw meats and blood as wine. Those
The
kind of things.
vampires were also eating this?
Yes, as far as he could tell.
Right.
Do
And
you-
also the
I guess they can.
the 6 rough folk guards, I think they were also eating, but were mostly looked down on by the 3 the 3 vampires,
Mm.
the 3 vampires, excluding the Lord.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Strange folk, not vampires, but they also had this weirdness about them. Cannot say exactly what.
All right.
Do you remember anything about the layout? Breach in the wall, a secret door, anything?
I'm afraid I was a simple fisherman. I remember there was a main hall, waiting chamber after that, where I was set to wait. Then a dining room to the right and a living room area to the left.
Mm-hmm.
A hallway with a stairway up to the chambers above. And I've seen the chamber that I was in. Quite sizable, well decorated. Chamber worthy of any noble, as far as I know the stories.
Right.
I've seen many more doors, but not entered any of them.
When the
So-
well-dressed man met you at the gate, was
Yes.
the sun out? Because we've been told that the Lord can walk in the sun, but we're not sure if the other vampires would be capable of such a feat.
I think the sun was out at the time, but I'm not quite sure. This man, this was a butler. It was not a
Oh.
vampire.
Right. Have you seen any of them stand in the sunlight?
No, I've only seen them inside.
All right.
Well, you might be onto something there. I think I asked you all I need to know.
Something I did note. Something I saw from the outside. The castle. The previous lord of it has actually named it a castle. Before that, it was actually a monastery.
Hmm.
It still has a few buildings. It has a chapel that I know is there. I did not see it. It's not that large, to be honest. It has 3 floors. And it also has 5 towers. 3 of them are on top of the building and 2 are attached to it. I did not see an entrance to any of those towers. And I don't know what it was, but it felt like these towers were protected. As if at the dinner table there was talk about the house, and the subject of the towers was notably avoided. I don't know why settle
There's
so
3
much on such a detail, but I did.
3 on top, 2 attached,
Yes.
and no windows either.
Some windows, but only higher up.
Could be an entry point.
I think we That's all we need to know. Thank you for sharing this with us.
In case you do want to go there, I would like to tell you that please do be careful. The fact that the butler was waiting outside clearly meant that they knew I was coming. I would not be surprised if they knew you were coming too.
I think you actually were led there by some form of magic or mind control of some kind.
Perhaps, but still, it is not someone to be underestimated. Something to be underestimated.
Yeah.
Smart man.
But neither are we.
I assume as much, but I do not plan to warn this vampire of do not underestimate you.
It's wise. We best be off. Full day ahead of us.
Indeed.
Right. Good luck, and I hope
maybe
I
a short question.
could be of help. Yes.
Do you or any of the people wear any of the shaman's protections on you at the time?
The shaman's protections aren't really worn. I did drink one of her. I did drink one of her remedies that helps clear up the mind.
When?
When I got back, immediately after I returned, I went to her myself. I wanted to make sure that nothing was left in my mind that shouldn't be there. No, not necessarily. But I've heard that how you feel does not really mean anything when someone is messing with your head.
That's fair.
We're actually planning on talking to the shaman right now.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you so much for your help.
Yes, thank you. I assume he's going to back to sorting fish.
Yeah.
Nix will linger for just a moment, and if he tosses another fish into the water, Nix's tongue will flick out and grab the fish. Try to grab the fish before it falls into the lake.
Or he will not stop you.
Yeah, make me a grapple check.
Elise is mostly trying to prevent Nix stealing from the table.
It's a natural.
She does not trust him.
In that place, make me make me an attack roll.
Oh, damn it! I rolled a 2. That's going to be an 11.
Oh,
2 touch, but still. No.
Especially that you're pretty far away, and this man is not as consistent with throwing fish into the lake as he is with throwing fish into the.
And then at least going nope.
Okay.
So that kind of just goes a long tongue that just stretches out and just entirely misses the fish.
Yeah.
Misses the fish.
Yeah. He was just tossing them away anyway. Oh, okay.
Later. After we're done dealing with this.
You hear him say, "Wanna? If you wanted a fish, you could just have asked," and he will throw a fish your way.
Or he will just once again try and grab it out of the air with my tongue.
All right.
That's better. That's a 25.
All right. Yeah, you grab this one with your tongue. Players.
He can be so adorable.
Kids are not fishy. We should get to the shaman. And we should also compile a list of people that are missing along with descriptions.
He or she should probably know that too.
Sure. Maybe.
Maybe she can help you with something. I assumed it was a she. Did I assume?
We heard it was a sheep.
Didn't actually say that it was a sheep, but
really?
The elder did say wise woman.
Yeah, so that's why she. Okay, that's why she.
Yeah.
I think it was probably also mentioned at some point. There were
different. It's a different kind of setup, Ori.
Still,
Herbalism and alchemy are not the same.
she could probably help us out.
Oh, definitely. I fully believe in herbalism. There's many potent herbs that can be used.
And then
But as I said, the setup is not useful.
ask her for
to
some
me.
information, and then make a plan of attack.
Yeah. All right, let's make our way over to the shaman.
Yeah.
All right.
As we're walking through town a bit, I would like to once again take a look for suspicious eyes on us, or like the notable creatures or others like tailing us.
All
I
right.
just want to keep a good eye out.
Yeah. Make me a perception check.
It's good, but I'm going to reinforce this one. Whenever I do that, it's just 21.
You notice that you get considerably less glances than before.
All right.
Could have to do something with that. The fact that you entered the longhouse and left it again, and they're like, "All right, spoke with the elder, then it's probably fine." It's mostly the hunters, the one with the crossbows, that kind of like look at you every now and again, just keeping an eye out, but not more like out of pure safety than any suspicion.
And no creatures tailing us.
No, not as far as you can see.
All right.
You go to the place where you've heard the shaman would be. You open the door and immediately are overwhelmed by this volume of all kinds of herbs mixed together. And it really like kind of it kind of forces you to take a step back, like it's that strong. It doesn't necessarily smell bad though.
Smells like home.
Inside there is a dimly lit shop with like plants in pots and hanging baskets everywhere. And there is a woman standing inside the shop that you actually only notice the moment that she starts moving. She turns around, and it's only then that you notice that she's actually there, because she's wearing all kinds of amulets and a dress that has all kinds of stuffs on it, and a hairdress. You couldn't distinguish her between the rest of the shop. Ah, the strangers.
Good evening.
It's is it evening already?
No,
I don't
You
think
said we
so.
arrived around twilight.
No. You didn't
Oh.
arrive at around twilight.
Sounds like Twilight.
The spruce forest or the evergreen forest made it look like twilight because it was so densely.
In that case, it's
It's
probably
either
afternoon, right?
Either late morning or early afternoon.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
early afternoon. Yeah.
In that case, definitely like a good afternoon.
Yes. Good afternoon to you too.
We heard you're the person to turn to for remedies for ailment of minds and possible charms of protection.
Yes, I have some. My charms of protection are mostly suited for homes and buildings, and not so much for adventurers, I'm afraid. They protect a place, not a person.
That's perfectly all right.
Got anything against vampires?
Anything specific? I'm afraid not.
We spoke to Garth before. He said you offer a remedy to reduce the effect of mind controlling?
Yes. She kind of ducks away and seems to take out some things. You hear some stuff rumble. She pops up from behind the counter with with 6 flasks, 6 small flasks. They only protect for a few hours at most, but they also undo most effects of the effect, as long as they're not too strong and permanent.
Right.
If you consume it within a day of being affected by anything, it will surely clear it. After that, it may become a bit more dicey.
May I take a look?
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
I'll pick one up, just sort of examine it, like take a smell, see if I can determine a bit more of its properties.
Yeah, I mean, you've got craft alchemy to
Might as well use it.
detect potions, right?
I've got a 12 plus 12 in craft alchemy.
Go ahead, make me a craft alchemy check.
That is a natural 20 for 32.
All right. Don't really know what to tell you except for just literally what she just said.
Right. It's like
Would she be able to replicate these?
that is what part of it that I want to be able to do. I want to understand duration, exact duration.
Ooh. Exact duration would be about 8 hours.
All right. Okay, that is definitely more than I thought.
But it's quite clear from it that you can determine that it does not protect fully. It kind of is a thing that unlike the saying, in this case, curing is better than preventing. Because it seems that it works far stronger as a remedy. And then it can basically clean out when you drink it. There's kind of this spike, this surge of cleansing energy, cleansing materials, magic, and then it kind of takes a more stable state, where it does protect. It certainly does protect, but it doesn't protect fully.
I'm gonna write it down as a potion of cure mind control. Unless you have a better name.
Yeah, that's fine.
And you said they only work on short term, so either before mind control or very shortly after.
Like a day after, she said.
From
Up
the
to the day after.
20, does he get can we get an idea of the numerical effect of protection if you use it in advance? Is it like a bonus to will saves?
It will be a
just
bonus to will
specifically?
saves against mind affecting effects.
Yeah, against mind affecting effects.
I will not give you the actual numerical values.
So this would not help against people who are under mind control for a longer time.
Right, it won't cure the thralls.
It could help, but by each passing day, the chance becomes less and less.
We've got other ways to deal with that.
We should take one in advance and keep one for afterwards.
I was thinking the exact same thing.
You also kind of get a gist of how to make this.
Oh, yeah.
However, you do know that actually, this is quite advanced alchemy, because it seems that these are two things that these are two effects, the spike and the more balanced thing, that it seems to be two effects that have combined to create this. So it's pretty cool and interesting. The problem is that it does require two catalysts that you're not quite sure what they are.
It's perfectly fine.
Like,
This is like at least started looking at it and smelling at it and continuing to look at it. Like she is like intrigued. This is something she does not understand, but can learn to understand. It's like a library.
Speaking of subjects on the
might be in
mind
liquid form.
Speaking of subjects on the mind control for a longer time, are any villagers missing that might have fallen under this mind control?
Quite a few, actually. I think we've lost 2 in the last year.
Is there any way we might be able to compile a full list?
Yeah.
So that
you would need to speak with the village elder of do this, but to be honest, usually we kind of have given up hope that they will ever return. To be honest, so we keep a makeshift funeral for them. We say our goodbyes. We don't even know for sure if they're there, but we don't want to look too far for missing people in these surrounding areas.
Because that would result in more missing people.
Exactly.
So we can only get a maximum number at most. Yeah, fair enough.
And I guess there's no better way than killing the source, is there?
If that doesn't work, nothing will. Pretty sure.
I am quite sure that will work with my rudimentary knowledge of magic.
Is there maybe like a potion or a remedy or a salt or anything that could buy us a window of time, daze them for a bit, or give them like a moment of clarity? Anything?
Actually, something like sleep or inducing.
I could craft something up for you, but that would require me to spend a part of the day doing that. Couple of hours, I think.
Look at Alice.
Also, are you giving these to us for our mission to kill the vampire, or
no,
do you
buying
want us to pay?
Ridiculous.
I'm just asking.
Because I'm buying
these potions, I always make sure that there are quite a few in supply because I need to have them at hand for any time. If you are indeed going to hunt down this vampire, then consider this my preemptive thanks. But I'm afraid that for other potions, I will have to charge you because I will need to gather special materials.
Perfectly fine. I look at Alice.
All right.
Some stuff to knock out the thralls might be quite useful.
I mean, I could also sit down for flash powder again, but that, as I did before, that takes a while. I'd have to start now, and it might be done by midnight.
It's also too short of an effect. Basically,
exactly.
we just don't want him to run in the way and try to sacrifice himself for their masters or something like that.
Mostly I want
our Tanglefoot bags might be useful on them, though.
Definitely.
Yeah. I'll just sort of like pull one out and put it on the counter. Do you have materials for these? Or something similar?
I have materials for those and something similar. It also needs to, be the day for it. I'm sure I can come up with something, but I'm afraid that only in a few hours I will tell exactly what.
That's fine.
How about
give her some time to think it over? What might be a good solution, right?
Elise will reach into her pouch, and I think, this is alchemy. She recognized that the previous pot was very good. She puts down 100 gold. We're not venturing in today. We're venturing tomorrow morning. Anything which you can come up with that might aid us in temporarily pacifying those who are enthralled in the castle would be greatly appreciated. If it's not finished, that is perfectly all right. I am somewhat of an alchemist myself, so I can deal with experimental stuff reasonably well. Anything that you can come up with is great. This is also for those 6 potions and anything that you can come up with.
Her eyes get big, and as she put down the gold, you're not sure if she has ever seen 100 gold pieces in her life ever before. And she kind of just stumbles it's if. Are you sure about this?
I mean, you've just given me pretty much the recipe. She's still holding the vial. You've just pretty much given me the recipe for these, which is worth a lot more than 100 gold. So yes.
I'm sorry. 100 gold not enough, and Origami will also put 100 golds next to it.
Please. I will go to work immediately. I will see whatever I can come up with. I will do whatever I can, I promise.
You guys have no sense
It's
of bargaining.
perfectly fine. Don't rush or anything. We're happy with anything that you can come up with, as small as that may be. This is mostly for these. Just
And this is mostly for whatever you can come up with.
All right. Yeah, I will make sure that I will provide you with some useful materials.
Right.
Nix will take 2 of the potions of Cure Mind and attach them somewhere in his belt, probably.
Yeah, each of us take 2, I think.
Yeah.
All right.
Before you go, one more thing. I have heard some information about this.
Sorry.
I've heard some information about this vampire. I'm quite sure that it is a pureblood vampire.
All right.
Information that might be relevant to know. I don't know if you know, but pureblood vampires are quite hard to kill, since no matter how you defeat them or try to slay them first, they will retreat to their coffin, and if they're not taken care of in their coffin, they will eventually come back after a few days, weeks, or months.
Towers.
So would be best if we found the common first, but we might not have the opportunity.
Thank you so much. That is so useful.
Yes, very, very much so.
You're welcome. I think.
Do you have any idea if the other vampires than the Lord are also pure-blooded?
The spawn they sounded like, as far as I know.
Good. I also wonder, because we heard that the vampire lord managed to change his own nature. I have a feeling that his spawn will probably not share his changed nature. But I'm not sure, because it could be like he spawned them so they inherited his nature. Or he made them and he doesn't, I assume, would jealously guard his own superior nature and not want to spend the effort of making his minions like himself.
I'm afraid I do not know that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. We'll be back in the morning.
Thank you, and have a good day. Yes.
Good day.
And as you leave, that is where I would like to end the session.
Oh.
Go to my room.
Cool.
So many options.
Going down.
Now, I do not mean this in a mean way, in any way, shape, or form, but you always manage to do less in a session than I expect you to.
We do lots
But
of
that's okay.
stuff, which is
That's
do
okay.
lots of stuff.
Yeah, like it's not so much that you do less. It's more that you spend more time on places that I do not expect you to spend a lot of time.
Yeah.
Like honestly, please do, because it means that I need to prepare less.
Which is always good.
Yeah,
Mm.
I mean, you have like half your session planned for next time.
Or all of it. We'll see.
Yeah, I will probably prepare fanatically for next session, and then realize that I had indeed already prepared next session today. But we'll see that next week, hopefully.
Yes.
We cannot make it then. So we will be back next week. Yeah, that's basically it.
In the meantime, we've got some of the old episodes on YouTube.
Yeah, some of the old episodes are on YouTube. I thought, oh yeah, I put the entire Dishonored Clean Hands Ghosts run on YouTube that I have played on this channel before.
You should watch that. Might learn
It's a
something
lot of
from it.
fun. It's really fun. Please watch it. I do not only say that because I did it, but
It's good fun. And
I
we
heard-
might be able to learn something from it for our entry into the castle.
I
Who
I
knows?
don't think it's going to be
Very
a clean hands
incompetent
run, though.
guard, mostly.
then there was a very incompetent guard, yes.
Let's hope that's the one in our castle.
But in any case, that was it for us today. We will be back next week.
Woo!
That's it. Goodbye, I guess.
Bye.
Goodbye.